I don't know what it was. Maybe the wine, maybe all the food, maybe the desire to expunge Laura from the conversation. But without thinking, I picked up Rosalind's hand and licked the cannoli crumbs off her index finger. My stomach dropped in mortification. I am not, as a rule, given to impulsive, suggestive gestures. But then I had also followed this woman around town like some kind of inept, love-struck spy, so something unusual was going on here. And in any case, I could see that there was no harm done. Rosalind was smiling at me broadly across the table. I let go of her hand. She reached out, put her long, cool fingers around my wrist, and gave it a little squeeze. I called for the bill. Rosalind had to slide the passenger seat back to accommodate her height. After all this time, it was still pulled forward to suit Laura's little legs. She asked politely for permission, adjusted the seat, stretched out her legs, and tugged off the pashmina, tossing it in the back. As I started the car, peripherally watching her apply a fresh sweep of gloss to her lips, I felt an invigorating, retro movie idol swell in my chest, as though I'd managed by some sorcery to get Sid Charisse into my car. We drove aimlessly around Colville, tossing ideas back and forth about what to do next. Though I didn't really feel like it, I suggested we drive into the city and listen to some music. I was relieved when she said she'd rather stay closer to home. We thought about going to a bar, but I had already drunk as much as I was comfortable with when I'm driving. Neither of us could stomach more coffee or dessert. "Should we go for a walk?" I asked. "Oh, that sounds nice," she said, "but it'd be a little hard in these shoes." We kept driving. Our conversation fell away into companionable silence. Rosalind swept her glossy hair back with both hands at one point, then twisted it into a small bun, centered it on the headrest like a pillow, and leaned her head back against it. She slipped off her shoes, crossed and recrossed her bare legs. I turned to look at her at a stop sign and saw that the makeshift bun had collapsed around her neck. I reached up and smoothed some hair out of her eyes. She kissed the back of my hand. The third time Rosalind recrossed her legs, the right over the left, I slipped my hand between her thighs, close to her knees. She closed her legs on my hand. Her skin was warm, smooth, slightly sticky where her legs pressed against one another. We drove that way quietly for a quarter hour or so, my left elbow resting on the car door, left hand on the wheel, right hand motionless and warm between her thighs. I drove toward my house. The homes in my area are all big, stately affairs. Mine was a colonial homestead until it was knocked down and rebuilt sometime in the 1850s, though the fireplaces, mantels, and floorboards are original. I've got an old post and beam barn, too, behind a stand of dogwood trees on the west edge of a wide meadow edged to the north and east by an oak forest. Outside the barn, under the overhang of the roof, stands a cord of chopped wood raised off the ground on a wrought iron stand and covered with a green tarp. Inside is a manual lawnmower, some old, expensive gardening equipment Laura bought and deserted long ago, my father's antique pharmaceutical equipment stowed away in cardboard boxes, and an assortment of carpentry tools I occasionally think about wistfully but never have time to use. My anesthesiologist friend Clarence, a transplanted Englishman, rattles around in an enormous Tudor revival. The street names in my immediate neighborhood are themed: Nightingale Drive, Oriole Way, Whippoorwill Place. In the next neighborhood over, they're all trees: Sycamore Drive, Pine Ridge Circle, Beach Lane. I live on Robin's Egg Trail, a cul-de-sac with 4 large homes set well back from the circular curb at the end. All the houses have long, curving driveways. None is shorter than a quarter of a mile. If I turned off my lights, none of my neighbors would know we were there. I got to my house, but didn't pull into the driveway. I wanted to bring Rosalind inside, but was reluctant to invite her in for fear she'd turn me down. Then an image materialized in my mind. Rosalind, the college student, in the back of a cab, crushed between young men with their hands on her. I killed the lights and turned off the car. I looked at Rosalind. Her head was turned to me, resting on the headrest, lit by the moon just visible through the leaves of the big sugar maple that stands at the end of my driveway. She looked as much at ease as if we had known each other 30 years. I leaned forward and kissed her.